Hey, I'm back with some more bad painting tips. I'm working on the Night's Watch. They're all dressed in black, and you can't have everybody in black or that just look dull. So I'm trying to do some different shading. On these guys here I have in the front, so far I've used 2 paints. The dark rust and 3 paints. The dark rust, the Skaven Blight Dinge, and Incubi Darkness have been the 3 paints so far. Tones I've used, or the parts that I've used the dark rust, is for the padded leathers. I've used the Incubi Darkness on the inside of the cloaks and on the legs. If I painted the legs with the Incubi Darkness, I did not paint the inside of their cloaks that color as well. For the Skaven Blight Dinge, lower portion here, this cloth that hangs down, or for their tunics here and there. So his arms here, I need to go back and touch up on his forearm here and give that a flesh tone. But that's the 3 colors I've used so far. I plan on using some Ardon Black for the backs of their cloaks, and even the fur part is mostly black. I'll use some rust gray for the highlights on those. I also plan on working in some purples or the Oxford blues into their cloaks and clothing. Now I'll dip these like I dipped the Umber Berserkers and my Stark Sworn swords into the black ink, and hopefully that will settle into any of those crevices. I'll use lead belcher on stuff like the chainmail here, and then come back and hit up their hair collars, giving some variety in the units through their hair and their face. Alright, so off to more painting here. I've opted for some deep red to outline the cloaks and the padded leather. It's not the cloaks, to outline the padded leathers that you see here. I'll go along these edges. Now that I've used the deep red on the edges here of the padded armor of the members of the Night's Watch, I'm thinking about using some more of the deep red to hit some of the other units, just this guy, or maybe these guys, and get some of the raised leather bits that are sticking out. So maybe use a deep red for that. So I like the deep red and I used it on a few other accents and leather straps of different individuals. We'll see how it looks when we're done. Next up is a lead belcher for the armor, the chain there, and the swords. These guys don't have a lot of exposed armor on them. Most of it's underneath the cloaks. So we'll hit up, excuse me. We'll hit up this area here and everyone's swords. Paint a good shake. Now I want this armor darker than what I had this Stark Sworn swords. That's why I'm not using that silvery primer from Badger. Alright, we'll come back when everybody is finished. Now finishing up the last of these swordsmen here. I have all the units with shiny swords. And that will be enough for me tonight. Alright, next up here, I want to use some midnight blue on the capes so I can give some contrast between the black and the other black regions. I've used the midnight blue on most of them. I want to try the Oxford blue on a few now just so I can see the difference. Of course, these both will be covered up with black when I did hit up the bulk of their cape in black. So I just wanted to leave these behind as some undercoating just to hopefully change the tint where the black doesn't eat up all the collar. We'll find out if it works or not, 'cause I have no idea. That one. I'll find it a little better. Okay. Again, I primered in black first and then reprimered in gray from a direction, and that's why you kind of see that shading there. That's just from the primer, how I primered them. Kind of wondering if I should have used this on all the highlighted raised areas on those other ones. Let's save the midnight blue for the recesses. But we'll find out. Mains painting. I can always go back and repaint. But I'm trying to do a fast job on all these guys since they're a unit. Have all of them done at once. With my captains and my NCUs, I'll go back and spend a lot more individual time on each one of those. These are still cool minis. There we go. Alright. There's the midnight blue here. And the Oxford blue here. And the midnight blue there. And later we'll look at the difference between the two once I put the black on. Alright, now I'm going to try some Abaddon black to fill in the rest of the cloak. Might switch up and do some game collar black as well, so they're not all this exact same shade of black. Kind of lightly going over those areas that had the gray on, or I'm sorry, lightly glowing over the areas where I had the midnight blue. Focusing on the recesses, the high raised blues being a little bit lighter. Not bad. We'll continue the experiment over here with the purples. Again, I'm focusing on the areas that I didn't hit last time. There's the midnight blue, and then I want the purple highlights. Do a couple more for comparison here. There it is. I kind of like it, so we'll keep going with this. Right now I'm using some dark skin on the leather. So we'll get a touch there. And the model itself will be dipped in black, and I want to kind of highlight the whole entire thing in black as well. I know that sounds dumb, but kind of like dry brush black on it, where normally I dry brush gray over top of the lights. I want to dry brush the dark over top of the lights that I'm trying to paint in. I'm trying to give some contrast to that all black Night's Watch. Go. And the next one here. Some of these are pretty cool though, so I'll probably touch up one or two a little better, make them possible minis for other games. I noticed I left off some chainmail. I'll have to go back with lead belcher and fill in. I'll do that next. So I'll do the lead belcher, and then I'll come back over it with the different black that I have. Hopefully it'll just be some shades different. Okay, it won't look exactly the same as the Abaddon black. You can see the purple on there. It looks kind of weird up close with that purple. But I'm telling you, there's some of the blue. When it's set off at a distance on the table, it kind of looks like highlights. Under close scrutiny you can see the purple and the blues, but at a distance it kind of all fades together. So far I like the effect of it. Alright, I touched up all the missing lead belcher around the arms that I missed earlier on the front and back. Touched up some of the other smaller pieces and the buckles and such. Now I'm going to use game color black here, hopefully getting a different tinge than this, and I'll fill in the gloves and the pants and whatever else is missing. I'm not going to do the furs, not yet. I'll do the furs after I dip them. So here we go. Alright, I finished out the flesh tones with Kislev Flesh here on all the models. Touched up some blood red in areas that had missed. I touched up some lead belcher. As far as the different blacks, the cloak was Abaddon black, and then the feathers up here, or the fur, up here was the game color of Aho black. So there's slightly different shades of those blacks. The Abaddon black does look flatter than this black. It looks a little more gloss. Purple stands out as a highlight, and I think I'm going to keep that. We'll see what the finished model looks like. Next will be to dip them and then come back and highlight. I'll probably go ahead and do hair first though. Okay, here we are again, and going to dip these Night's Watch into the black slurry here and shake them off. So we'll see what this looks like. Currently, here's all the Night's Watch. Went ahead and did their hair using some Privateer Pressed Brown, some rust, dark rust, some Troll Hunter Orange, and some White Scar for the basic colors. Okay. You gonna join me, Alice?
Yes.
Come around here. You want to stir this up really, really good, like this? Oh, hold on. Turn and look on camera. Yeah, there's Alice. No, I'll do this real quick, okay? Because I don't want it to spill. Oh, she's a little mad because she wants to stir. And with the sun going down, see how low the sun is? I only have just a couple of minutes. So I'm going to do this really, really quick. Alrighty? Watch this, ready? See this guy? Dip him in there like that. And now look at that. And I go whoop, whoop, whoop. Shake him off. Put him here. I get this guy. Whoop.
Can I try?
Not on this. Maybe my last one, okay? Because I want to try to work fast.
I can do it.
Well, if you do it fast, I'm afraid you'll spill it everywhere. And you get black paint on you.
Shake it. You could shake it off.
You could shake it off.
You could shake it off. Shake it off, Bob.
Is that white hair? Let's see what happens when I dip him here. What he looks like afterwards. What, buddy? Hold on. Give me a second. It just kind of follows in those recesses. Okay? Alright, what's up, dude?
Now, Dad, you're turning into a child.
Why, 'cause I like playing with toys?
No, you're slow.
Oh, I'm slow, huh? You're a super good helper, you know that?
Mm-hmm. We only got 2 more. Can I do these 2?
Alright, hand me one.
No, I want to.
Well, I'm going to load it for you. Oh, he's my favorite too. Okay, stick it straight down like that. Don't force it down. Straight down, right there. Leave him a second. Bring him up. Okay, make sure it comes in focus. Hold it still. Alright. Hold on. Let me make sure it's in there good. There you go. all the way down there. Ready? So after I dipped all of them in black, I came in and touched up their hair and with some iridian flesh for some. Others was dark rust. The ones I tend on going more black or gray, I did midnight blues. I'll come over that with a darker color later on. There were a couple here that was started out with Jocaro orange. We did that for all their hairs, all the hair. Also did some Ultharian gray. Now I'll come through and paint all of the fur on the cloaks with this. The cloaks itself were done in Abaddon black, so the rest of them will get a tinge of this. I'm not going to get the cape with this. I'm going to try to get some of the other areas like the boots or the knuckles of the gloves. More the clothing. Make sure I hit the furs around the wrists as well. Instead, we'll use some of this Arthurian gray for these gray-haired individuals. Highlights on their hair there. I'll use some of the Badger primer here to touch up their swords.